All right, lunchtime again. And today I'm going to work on my starter for the 28 Chevy. This one again is a Remy, and it's 710C is the model number. I hooked this up to a battery. This does spin, but the concern I have is that this gear here, I believe it's called the Bendix, this doesn't fly out. It seems to be spinning freely for the most part. When you get it down here, kind of gets gunked up. So I'm assuming that this needs to be spinning out when the shaft is spinning in order to engage the flywheel. And then of course, once this motor starts, this spins back down. So I'm concerned about that. Another thing is I have quite a bit of play in this shaft. You can see right here, there's about almost 1/8 of an inch. And if I kind of drop it down there, the shaft moves back and forth. So I'm gonna tear it apart, see if I could find a solution for that, and I just wanna see how this thing works. So let's figure it out. So I'm gonna take off this band here, just kind of flips up. There we go. And first impressions of it, looks very similar to the generator. Got brushes in there and an armature. Okay, looks like we have a lube there. So I'm gonna take it apart. First thing I'm gonna do is take these 2 bolts off. It looks like somebody did a tack weld right here. I don't know on what. The only thing that's there are these washers. Oops, oops, oops. So on mine I've got 3 washers, a skinny one, and then these 2 thicker ones here. Set those aside. So when I bench tested this thing, the Bendix here didn't want to fly out. And on closer inspection of it, you can see on the back here, somebody's taken a grinder to it. And inside here, there's a little pin on a spring, and it goes along inside those grooves there, and it gets caught up where they took the grinder to it. I was able to find a new Bendix gear. There's no grinding on the shaft of it. And I see that now that pin with the spring, it actually rides on top of those threads, not inside of them. So I think this is gonna work much better. I was able to get this at a local shop by me, and I'm in Southern California. M&L Parts, talked to Phil. He was able to give me this for 20 bucks. So good deal. Whereas a new spring and everything is on, what's it called? The filling station for 60 bucks. So I didn't need the spring or anything. He was just able to give me just this section of it. So all I've done, unscrew this bolt here. And that takes it off, so there's a little washer with a stop on it. And this whole thing just slides out. Ugh, this thing's messed up. I could tell it's been fixed in the past. I see some Somebody tried to braze it back on there, it looks like. Plus on top of that, the grinding. And then on here, it has 2 tack welds. I think they tried to tack in, what's that called? They tried to tack in a piece here. So new one is the same, let's see, same length. Opening is the same, and it's not all janky. So I'm going to clean up this shaft a little bit, just get some of that old grease off of there, and put it back together. Alright, so I just cleaned up that shaft a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on this, not very much, I don't want it to get all gunked up. So just like a little bit on my finger type thing. And if somebody could tell me that I shouldn't do that, or even if I should do more, let me know. Let me know in the comments, huh? That seems to be moving much nicer now. And I'm going to do the same thing to the shaft here. So I tighten that all the way, but I don't think it should be that way, because I believe this needs to be able to move on its own. So please, in the comments, if you think I should tighten this back up, please let me know. I'm gonna ask my mechanic buddies, see if they could help me out. But like I said at the beginning of this whole series, I'm not a professional, I'm learning. I'm making these videos so I can learn and hopefully show other guys that are just starting out what they're in for, and maybe they could learn something from my mistakes. So that's looking pretty good. So I think I found the reason for the front to back play. This washer here that goes towards the end of the cap here, it was all bent around this little step. So what I think I'm going to do is get a washer that's slightly has a bigger inner dimension, so it'll slip over this step, and then stack another washer on top of that. That way this one won't bend and I won't have that slop anymore. So hopefully that'll work. So this is a trick my buddy John showed me to clean up the commutator. I chucked it up into a lathe. I know not everybody has access to a lathe, but if you do, this is a nice little thing to do to make sure that the commutator is smooth, so you have nice contact with your brushes. If you notice down in the bottom right hand of the corner, there's a file wrapped with some emery cloth. Just wrap that up so now I have a nice hard surface, and then I place the file with emery cloth on the commutator with the lathe spinning. And this is a before picture, and this is the after picture. So you can see it's nice and shiny, nice and flat, and I should have better connection with the brushes now. So on this part, if you just take off this one screw here, that should release this whole cap. I'm gonna do that real quick. So, screw and a washer. A long wire here and a short one. So it goes short, then long. That comes all off. All the springs seem to be working just fine. Gonna clean this all up, give the outside paint job. All right, so this should be the final lunch with the starter. I've got all the parts painted, cleaned, fixed. We're ready to put it back together. If you watched my other video on the generator, I was using toothpicks to prop open the little spring arms that the brushes are attached to. That worked. The only issue that I had is once I put the body back on, I couldn't get the toothpicks out very easily. I had to end up taking the whole thing apart to get a toothpick that fell in there. So I asked for help and I got it. So one of my viewers gave me some very good advice. And it's the kind of advice that's like, once you get it, it's like, yeah, no duh, why didn't I do that from the beginning? So, I'm going to use the toothpicks just like I did in the generator video. So all I do is pop open one of the springs and you can see, I hope, I'm just fitting the toothpick in between this arm and this little shaft here, and that props them open enough. Just like that. And that should give me enough space for the commutator to fit right in between here. Now that I've got my toothpicks on there, I'm just going to take this washer off, put it in place down there, and I do have a little bit of oil around the shaft there. I'm just going to slip it in, just like that, and look at what I could do now. I'm going to take a little pressure off these. One toothpick, two toothpicks, three toothpicks, and four. They're all out of the way. They're not going to get lost into the body there when I put it on. So now it's pretty easy. I'm going to put the body back on, and if you notice on here, there is a small pin located on this plate here, the end plate. And on the main body here, there's a hole. Okay, so that's what's going to match up. I'm just going to slide it over. Alright, that took considerably less time to get that together. So now on this other end, the end where the Bendix is, there is a little post on the main body, and on this part, there's a hole. So we just got to match them up. So you can't really get these together in the incorrect way. Again, I have a little bit of oil on that shaft there, just to kind of help things along. There you have it. That's put back together. Got a couple other things that we need to do. Flip it over. And these two bolts slide in through here, go through the body, and connect to the other side. There we go, and I have a 3/8 inch wrench. Tighten those down. Okay, we got a couple wires to connect in here, and that is, then it will be done. Okay, the last thing to do, just have to connect all three of these pieces here. And to do that, it's just with this little flathead screwdriver. Beauty. Let's go test it. Okay, go ahead. Beauty. I'm calling that a success. Another part down. Anyways, thank you for the person that left me a comment and gave me some pointers on a better way of assembling the generator and the starter. That was a huge help. That's exactly what I started this channel for. I'm a new guy, and I'm sure there's some newbies also watching this channel, okay? We don't know everything. We're looking for some help. So I hope this helped somebody else that didn't know what was going on with these. And yeah, thanks a lot for the comment. Just comment, guys, it's fun. I know there's some people from Australia watching these. Let me know where you're coming from. It's fun to see where everybody's at. Anyways, whoa. Lunchtime's over. See you guys later.